Continuing a theme here, dealing with the race for the 65th seat here in Ohio. I have on the phone here Wayne Gates, the editor of the Brown County Press, to talk about this Growth and Opportunity PAC. Wayne, welcome to the program, sir. It's a pleasure to have you on today.
Good morning, Brian. How are you?
Doing quite well. On the heels of my conversation there with Dylan Blevins, who's running for that seat, along with Joe Dills and Gene Schmidt, it's pretty evident that the Growth and Opportunity PAC would love everybody to vote for Gene Schmidt. They are coming down hard and heavy, not just with ads on television, but also mailers. Is this organization? Everybody that they support is a Larry Householder person. Have you been able to determine who's behind the Growth and Opportunity PAC, Wayne?
I have not, Brian, because I think that's intentional. The Growth and Opportunity PAC was created in 2016. It's run out of a law firm in Lexington, Kentucky by the name of Embry, Merrick, Schaefer, and Womack. And a lawyer with that firm by the name of Eric Lycan is the person that created Growth and Opportunity PAC, according to documents filed with the Federal Election Commission. Do you remember those ads a couple of years ago where people were told, don't give the Chinese your personal information, decline to sign the petition?
Oh, yeah.
That's the same group associated with the same people that were trying to get the nuclear bailout bill passed, which became law in 2018. So the question is, why is somebody spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in a deep red district that does not have a Democrat opponent in November? What is the ask that's going to be from Larry Householder and the Republicans? What's the next big bill on the horizon? Because you don't spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's congressional race in a purple district level. What's the ask? That's my question.
That's a legitimate question, and that's what makes this smell so bad. And, I'm no fan of Gene Schmidt for a variety of reasons, not the least of which is are well-documented taking hundreds of thousands of dollars, I guess, from the Turks. But, that's all of record. It seems to me Claremont County could come up with some perhaps more qualified folks that don't have any tarnishes on their record. But, we can make choices. But what is the dog in this fight for this political action committee, particularly since it's run out of Lexington? Have you been able to trace Eric Lycan, the lawyer there that you said is responsible? Is he in of any way friendship or has done business with perhaps Larry Householder in Columbus?
Well, there's no way to tell that, Brian, because these people aren't stupid. They're not going to go out to a restaurant and put their arms around each other and say, well, yes, I am associating with you in violation of federal law.
Yeah, good point.
So no, there's no real, connection that you can find anywhere. But, when I am the only journalist in the state to get a comment on the record from Householder and from the Growth and Opportunity PAC when I did the story on District 66, first I sent Householder a text and asked him some questions, and he responded with a canned response. Federal law prohibits me from associating with, and he said, I encourage you to contact the Growth and Opportunity PAC. And I had left voicemails on Lycan's phone. I'd called the Facebook number that was associated with the Facebook advertising they're done. I sent him an email and had silence. So my response back to Householder was, are you saying for the record you're not participating in trying to influence the outcome of the District 66 race, which he did not respond. And then I sent him another one that said, if you know someone who knows Eric Lycan, I have a call into him that he has so far chosen not to return. So less than 2 hours later, I get an email from the Growth and Opportunity PAC with a statement.
Is that coincidental?
It was coincidental. I was quite shocked. But the statement essentially said the bottom line is the local vetting process failed its residents. So the Growth and Opportunity PAC decided to become involved to ensure voters got the whole story. So they're journalists, perhaps.
Well, perhaps, but I don't know a whole lot of journalists that go out and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to influence elections.
Well, see, and that to me, honestly, that's the bottom line. People always accuse, I've got a fairly small universe. District 66 is Brown County and some of Claremont County. And politics is personal at that level. It's retail. You go out, you buy a few signs, and, go knock on some doors. It's totally unusual for mailer after mailer, live surveys, robocalls, TV ads, radio ads to come to this. And again, it comes back to what's the ask?
Yeah.
Why are they determined to put Alan Freeman and Gene Schmidt into districts that are blood red, where, in theory, you're supposed to give the voters the choice? That's why primaries exist.
Now, Wayne Gates, editor of the Brown County Press, this is a fascinating conversation filled with intrigue and more questions with the end of our discussion than we have answers to, but that's the point. Have you been able to gauge the reaction of those in the 65th and 66th? Are they savvy? I mean, I'm not suggesting for a moment they're not stupid, but are they aware of the obvious here, that clearly this is weird? The number of mailers, the number of advertising that's been run, this is a total outlier. Are they in tune to the big giant question that you keep asking? What's the ask on this, Wayne?
Well, some people are asking that, but another interesting thing is that I think that these mailers are backfiring, because if you look at them, they have ridiculous things like saying Adam Byrd voted to cut something when he was a superintendent. So anybody that pays attention knows that school boards actually vote to cut things. Nick Owens gave bonuses to bureaucrats when they were actually state mandated cost of living increases. I mean, they're just trying to make stuff up and throw it at the wall. And then the other thing is, when I talk to people about this, primary voters are, by definition, engaged in the process and paying attention. And if they didn't care, they wouldn't vote. That's why the turnout's probably going to be less than 30%, maybe even less than 25%, because there's no opposition. So, therefore, the people that see these mailers are engaged in the process. And when I get them and I read them, it says to me, we think you're a moron and you're going to fall for this. And I think that that's going to backfire.
Well, I would like to think it does. I actually think the Claremont County voters are savvy people, and especially, as you point out, the primary voters, extremely savvy. They'll look through this. Have you interviewed Gene Schmidt, asked her for her reaction to the ads? I don't think I have seen anywhere that she's disavowed them. I believe the Enquirer asked her whether she approved of the ads, and she kind of skated around that, claiming that she runs a positive campaign. But anything from Gene on this?
Well, I focused on District 66, where Alan Freeman is the candidate. However, my sister paper, the Claremont Sun, had an interview scheduled with Gene Schmidt, which she apparently canceled after the article came out regarding the press conference that the candidates had, repudiating the dark money. And apparently Gene Schmidt and Alan Freeman are singing from the same sheet of music, because I run a positive campaign. These people have the constitutional right to do this. I asked Alan Freeman at a candidate forum I had on February 26th. We discussed this. It's on YouTube if you want to look it up. We spent 15 minutes with Owens, Byrd, and Freeman talking about this. And Freeman's response to this question was they had the constitutional right to do it. He was challenged to repudiate the ads, which he did not do.
Right.
And I asked him directly if he would like to take this public opportunity to tell them to stop working on his behalf, and he declined to do that as well.
Gee, that for some reason, that doesn't shock me. Wayne Gates, editor of the Brown County Press. Thank you for the time we spent today. It's not always easy for someone in my position to stay on top of all of these different races. 65th and 66th, though, have become obviously outliers because of this money and this growth and opportunity pack. Wayne, and when you get the bottom of it, if you finally get the answer of who's behind on it, where the money's coming from, not that you will be able to, you are welcome on my program, my friend. I'd love to hear back from you.
April 15th is the next significant date, Brian, because that is when the Growth and Opportunity PAC has to report to the Federal Election Commission how much they spent and where it went. So we'll know in about a month.
Perfect. And we'll have you back on, Wayne, to talk about that if it's up to you, or if you'd like. I really enjoy that.
Sure. Absolutely.
Wayne, take care of yourself. Have a great week.
You too.